guys, and welcome to another episode of the Cleveland Moto Podcast. This is episode number 363.
Yeah.
Woo! And look at this, guys. We're at Porco Lounge and Tiki Room for all your imbibing needs. This is something we've been trying to put together for a while.
Forever.
And the staff here at Porco, Steph and the whole crew is nice enough to welcome us in on a Friday night of all things.
Yep.
So awesome.
I feel bad. I should have brought my Tanuki mug.
Right, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
We could have been full Tanuki style. Well, you know what? The good news is I happen to know for a fact that they have some Tanuki mugs behind the bar. So,
The other one's
there's definitely one or two Tanuki mugs behind the bar. So
if you need extra balls.
if you need balls, right?
We need a special drink too, the nuclear Tanuki.
The Tanucular?
The Tanuki.
The Tanucular?
Go buy the microphone, man.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go buy the
There you go.
microphone.
We're
man.
working with limited resources today.
Maybe we need to get Porco to invent a cocktail, the Tanucular cocktail.
The Tanucular
Tanucular?
cocktail. Because I know for a fact they've got the Tanuki mugs. Now, the good news is we're going to be able to offer to our podcast listeners a special new item. So you guys remember last week we had our new item.
Yeah.
Our new item was our new Cleveland Moto beanies,
Yep.
Right.
which now say ride fast and take chances on the beanie. So fucking cool. And then,
So you got a new one?
no, but we've got Tanuki mugs too. So we are going to be able to help our podcast listeners
For the
get
Patreons.
totally G'd up for our
Nice.
Patreons, where we're going to have a new Patreon level for people that want to get in and get both the new
The beanie.
beanie and also Tanuki mug.
Nice.
So an actual Porco Tanuki Tiki mug. So very cool that we've been able to pull that together. Today we heard at the shop from one of our great dear friends, and we'll talk about that in a second because this is awesome to touch base with one of our loyal listeners for a while. And we're going to start from my extreme right. Who's over there?
He's on the extreme right.
Steve Hoffert.
Extreme right. And then to his left,
Johnny Mac.
your humble narrator, Phil Waters, and to my left,
Oscar.
And Sleepy.
Dan Kromke.
and then at the very end,
Chris Smith.
and that's he's stereo right. So if you're listening,
Oh, shit,
and-
you're right.
and,
It's
yeah,
stereo.
Let's
Yeah,
hope he's
right.
not slacking.
Camera right.
camera right,
Oh,
stereo
shit, yeah.
left. Yeah, camera right, stereo left.
Let's
right?
hope he's not slacking this weekend. He did bring a joke, though.
Oh man,
No, he has one job. One job.
you got to bring a damn
Don't
joke.
fuck it up,
Only
Chris.
one reason to
Excuse
be here.
yourself and come back with a joke.
And what I've got to say, and I can't say this enough, is the salubrious confines of Porco Lounge.
Salubrious.
The salubrious. I mean, if
Nice.
you guys want to look around at the art that's hanging on the walls around us right now, we are in the room that I affectionately call the Makeout Room. So this is the Makeout Room at Porco Lounge and Tiki Room. This is... Every year, this room has gotten just a little more decadent.
Oh, yeah.
And there used to be a particular booth out there that we would call the Makeout Booth because Porco put the velvet curtains on all the booths to give you that extra. If you've ever been to Porco and you bring a special friend, you bring that special friend, that special lady, and you want to make things happen, order a few of these and then close the curtains.
This is
And
where
you
the
close
magic
yourself,
happens.
close the
Yeah.
curtains in one of these booths, and no, that is G. Gordon Liddy proof. You're safe.
Yep.
That's it.
Don't come a knocking if
Don't-
this booth is a.
If the booth's rocking, don't come knocking. That is pure Porco magic right there. Porco has been identified for being Cleveland's best bar.
Yes.
So the Cleveland magazine comes out. You can get it at your best newsstand or your favorite dentist office. Just steal it. But
It's
right
official.
on the front cover, and we'll have Sleepy put a little drop down. And the front cover is our man Stefan, who is the proprietor of this establishment. He's on the front
At the
cover
bar,
of
yep.
Cleveland magazine at this amazing bar. So what I was shocked to find out is your off-site entertainment location is in Milwaukee.
Yeah. Milwaukee. Yeah.
Right. So Oscar's got good reasons to be in Milwaukee a lot, but so there's a bar in Milwaukee called the Foundation Room.
Yes. Yep.
And so the Foundation Bar, I should say, in Milwaukee, I didn't know this, but upstairs of the Foundation, they have got an Airbnb. So you can actually book it out for $160 a night or something, and you won't have to worry about driving home.
Yeah,
So when
I
you're
need to
done
try that out
drinking,
when I go up
you
there,
just go
yeah.
upstairs.
Yeah.
Does the romantic Hispanic become as part of that?
Yeah. Well, it's a lot easier than moving Milwaukee to Ohio to Porco. So
Yeah.
that makes a lot
So
more
if
sense.
you ever find yourself in Milwaukee, go to the foundation or ahead of time,
Oh,
book
yeah.
that place on Airbnb.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's my idea of a great weekend out.
I'll
Yeah.
give a report probably by the next couple more
And
podcasts.
of
I'll
course,
do that.
Oscar
Yeah.
will give us a report on the
Yeah,
sound.
I will. Yeah,
The
boots on the
soundproofing.
ground.
We'll see
Yeah.
if it's truly a soundproof room.
yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
My wife said the other day that she likes your painkillers the best. When you were out
Ooh,
making them at
really?
the compound,
Uh-huh.
she's like, I like Porco, but I liked Oscar's painkillers.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
What are you
Nice.
drinking tonight, Steve?
A Roman twist.
Fuck yeah. We'll get into that.
I just missed the coffee beans, though. They used to put coffee beans in it.
They'll put them on if you ask.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Before you leave this though, when they were over on the yard, we were all out in the backyard having painkillers as we do.
As we do.
And my neighbor came over, and I didn't realize this because I wasn't thinking, because I'm used to you guys. So when
Right.
I say painkiller, we all know it's a drink.
Absolutely.
So he comes over and he comes over and he's meeting everybody for the first time, and I'm like, hey, you want a painkiller? And he's like, it's
Percocet?
Sunday.
Darvocet?
I don't know. And I'm like, and then Oscar's like, no, a drink. He was like, oh yeah, okay, I'll have one of those.
He was thinking Oxycontin.
Yeah, he's like, oh great, bunch of pillheads fucking moved in next door.
You got Darvan. What do you got going on over there, right? Yeah. So you've got the Roman twist, right? And we'll talk. That's kind of my go-to drink, no matter where I am on planet Earth. What have you got, John?
I've got a painkiller level 1.
Now wait a second. Talk about level 1.
Okay.
What?
Well, level 1 is just, you would think it would be just 1 ounce of liquor,
That's right.
but their level 1 starts at 2 ounces
That's
of
right,
liquor.
yeah.
And I didn't ask, but I'm assuming it's the pussers.
Yeah. So you right. So when you do a painkiller traditionally, right, you would do a painkiller with pussers. So now you can also do it with blackstrap if you're
Yeah, I
nasty.
didn't upgrade to the blackstrap. I'm happy with the pussers.
That's my painkiller is always with a blackstrap. It's a little more molassesy, a little smokier. I've got a Roman twist as well, which is always my go-to drink.
I got a Saturn.
Oh, you did a Saturn.
Little citrusy. No, this is my second one.
Oh,
So I got the pink. No, I got the Roman twist first,
Yeah.
and then the Saturn, which is kind of citrusy. Awesome drink. So if you're ever
Very
at Porco, try that out too.
Sleepy?
I did a Roman twist, but
Right.
it tastes different than the last time I've had it.
Told you.
There's something. It's good. I'm not mad at it or anything like that, but it's just different than the last.
So now here's the trick about the Roman twist.
Hofford wants to know what you had in your mouth before this.
What?
Did you just brush your teeth? Did you just blow a guy? Something
Yeah,
weird?
well,
right,
always.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
right.
yeah, $20 is $20, right?
Yeah, some extra vitamin D, like D's nuts.
So
Seems a
here's
little
the trick.
salty for me. I'm not sure why.
The Roman twist for a long time, it had a bit of a different flavor because they were using a coffee whiskey that wasn't Tia Maria. And so when you build a Roman twist, the coffee liqueur it calls for is Tia Maria.
Okay.
This
So-
is like the when they first started making them.
Yeah. And so the Tia Maria is the prescribed Roman twist ingredient, and that's what's in there right now. So you got Tia Maria for your Roman twist. Super cool.
I think it's their homemade
Orgeat.
orgeat.
Yeah.
Is also a big factor.
That is a
too,
big
because you
factor.
can't buy orgeat the way they make orgeat here.
That's right. And if you do buy a big old bottle of orgeat from like any of the online vendors or anybody else, it does not taste like Porco's orgeat.
No.
Every batch of Porco's orgeat takes months to make. So super fun, super cool. What do you got, Dan?
Another Roman twist.
Another Roman twist. Yeah, I can tell that as the night goes on, we're going to be deviating from that menu. But some of us are still in round 1, except for Oscar's in round 2. And then what do you have down at the end there, Chris?
I wanted to go with something with a gin base,
Yes.
so I got a Singapore
Get
Sling.
a sling, baby.
Yeah.
You get a Singapore Sling. And I'm feeling like when I'm in that mood for that light and crispy drink, Saturn's or a Singapore Sling, man. Absolutely a delicious cocktail. Now, it's about, what is it? 12 degrees out? 19? Yeah.
Well, it's going to be also 70 on Sunday or something. So, you know. In fact, there's all this sports stuff going on
Yes.
here in Cleveland this weekend.
We have some sort of playoff, right?
No. You got the All-Star game.
Is the All-Star game.
NBA All-Star games in Cleveland.
Oh, okay. All right.
But
So
sport-
Meadowlark Lemon's going to be there?
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
Curly Neal.
But one of
Curly
the big,
O'Neill will be there, right?
One
Yeah.
of the big sports like websites or something said,
Yeah.
"Hey, if you're going to Cleveland,
Yeah.
bring clothes for all 4 seasons." And
Yeah.
like literally, it's this weekend is going from 14 to like 50 to like what?
It's supposed
So
to be 8 tomorrow night.
our
And then it's going to go up to like 44, 45 on Sunday.
Yeah.
But Cinch, all you really got to do is just bring some HOFFERT shorts, and then you're good for all 4 seasons.
You're good for all 4 seasons.
I don't think
But you
anybody
have to
can pull off the Hoffer shorts.
You have to bring Hoffert's legs to go with them.
Yes.
Because you cannot rock 8-degree shorts unless you're him.
Fuck no.
Because there's an inch of fat around him.
You have those figure skating legs.
Mention though, you guys
straight. I have no
get in front of the mic.
I think it's important to mention, you guys really don't realize what these Carhartt hoodies, they all season rain, like these things make
They're
up
awesome.
for a lot of your clothing
Wardrobe?
shortness. You know, like,
I have one hoodie. That is the only hoodie I will ever need. Yep. Here's an interesting thing for people that kind of wonder what we go through the other day. Well, just yesterday, we went from 50 degrees Frankenstein to under 20 degrees Frankenstein in 12 hours. So
And
we had every weather.
yeah,
And an ice storm.
lost 30
and
degrees
snow.
because we were going to do the podcast last night and we waved it off only because going into the podcast it'd be 50 degrees and then at night when we would be trying to drive home it was completely freezing rain, everything. Yeah,
But there were floods prior to that because
That's true.
everything was melting.
every river
Flood
in
floods.
Cleveland has been blocked up by ice flows.
Yep. The
So,
streets
yeah.
be up by my house. Like I was going down Indian River.
Yeah.
And it's gone.
Yeah, it's
They
underwater.
have water markers, and the 4-footer is barely sticking out of the water at this point.
Yeah, it's a really weird time to be in Cleveland right now because we have that false spring or that fake spring, and then you get fool's spring after that, and then you get just shouldn't have gone out. Like these are all the different seasons that we experience February, March. Yeah.
My favorite
there's
in
the haha fuck you.
Oh,
No, we think the salt's gone. Ha ha.
yeah.
We're going to spray the rest of our brine all over everything.
Yes. We have-
my favorite are the Saturdays you wake up and it's 58 degrees and all your buddies are like, we riding? And you're like, yeah. And you go out and ride, and then at 3 it drops to 30 and snows on you on the way home, and you're
Oh,
like, fuck.
hell yes. And there is no, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, there is no guarantee of anything. Facebook Marketplace loves to remind me that 5 years ago I was riding motorcycle in a t-shirt today, right? Yeah. And so we have no consistency in this city whatsoever. Like that is it. So talking about a phone call we got at the shop, Kurt Edwards.
Oh.
So Kurt Edwards gave us a
Yeah.
phone call, one of our favorite people from Louisville.
Yep.
He gave us a shout, and he said, I need a couple of scarves. So he ordered a couple of Moto Guzzi, Cleveland Moto Guzzi scarves from us, and he's like, I got to get those before they sell out, because we're getting down to like only a couple of them left. But they're having their Moto Guzzi deal. Their get-together in Louisville. So in Louisville, they're getting ready for a big event for them is their Moto Guzzi
How
annual
soon is that
party.
coming up? In the next couple
I would have to check the internet on that one,
Yeah.
but I know Kurt's getting ready because he called because he's going to get a scarf for himself, but he's also going to donate one to the rally, to the Moto Guzzi rally.
But you know what? The Louisville guys, the
Yeah.
weather's so different
Yes, it
in
is.
Ohio
Yeah.
that they rode last night.
Yeah, they
they
were
had
riding
a
last
vintage
night.
bike night last night.
So cool.
Yeah.
I mean, and look, we love the Louisville guys anyway. They're badass.
On a little tip out to Nick too, I happened to check what the weather is down in North Carolina.
Yeah.
It's like 62 degrees today.
You motherfucker. Fuck you, Nick.
Because he's been talking about that. How do you pronounce it? Pisgah?
Peugeot.
Peugeot. Okay, that's how you
Pshaw.
Well, I've never heard. I never heard
Wait,
anybody
did
else say that
Oscar
word.
just at Nick?
Come at me, Nick.
Yeah, I
Come
think
at
he
me,
just
bro.
added the shit out of Nick.
Well, I was
Nick.
trying to figure out what the temperature is going to be if we actually go down there.
Right.
Oh, yeah,
at,
yeah.
You know, April 1st.
Right.
Yeah, fuck you, Nick.
So for years we did an event down there the first weekend or second weekend of January called Freeze Your Balls Off in Chapel Hill. And it was always a giggle because you get down there and you'd be like, ha, t-shirts, right? And then the one year we got down there, it was like, fuck you, snow. So it was like, we're never doing this again.
So my friends who live in the area where we're talking about going,
Yeah.
he said the perfect month to come down there is April.
Wow, it's like
Really?
guaranteed good weather. For other people that are looking to update their social calendar, if you are looking to update your social calendar,
Oh, that sounds good when you're there.
well, it does. It would, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So the DGR ride, so the Disgruntled Gentleman's Ride, Distinguished Gentleman's Ride, that we do here in Cleveland. Now this is worldwide, folks. May 23rd. So set your fucking abacuses, set your sundials.
Abakai?
Yep. Abakai, thank you. Yes, your abakai, your motorkai, Leviticai, and abakai. Set that for May the 23rd, because that's our Sunday that we're going to be doing the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride in Cleveland. And again, we have not mapped it out yet. We have not routed it yet. It will be something spectacular.
It might be 14 degrees.
It might be 14. It might be raining sideways.
Yeah.
We have no
It
idea.
could be 90.
We've seen everything for the DGR.
Yeah.
So,
It's actually May 22nd.
is it? Oh,
Well, that's
okay.
That's a Sunday.
You're right, because this thing for some reason says Monday, May 23rd, and the reason it does that is because the organizers are in Australia, and when they put it into their thing,
It says 22nd.
yeah, but you see where it says on the
you're right,
calendar.
it has both.
So you're right, it is
depends on the
right. So if you're in Australia, we're doing our event on Monday. If you're here, we're doing our event on Sunday. See, they get there before we do.
Yep,
so
true.
thank you for bringing that up. It is the 22nd of May. That's a Sunday here in this hemisphere, right? So if you get there on the 23rd, you'll be late. So, but so anyway, I wanted to bring that up because what I would like to do this year for our group is I would like our DGR this year for Cleveland to be small bikes.
Yeah. Ooh.
I would like to organize our event this year to be catering to small machines.
Yeah, no, don't exclude anybody.
Nope.
But the lead group is all small bikes.
No, because you can still go where we're going to go on your
Yeah,
1800 cc whatever.
Back roads and stuff, yeah.
But it would be fun if we kind of build the route around the idea that the bikes maybe can't go over 45. And that, I think, would bring a lot of these old bikes
Yeah.
out of the garages.
Yeah.
And maybe we can encourage people to get
To
some
sell
of their...
to us.
Well, you've been on a bit of a buying spree. I think maybe, Mr. Hoffert,
He always is.
there's
in a
something
buying
going
spree.
on in your life where you're going, because I just got word that your Nissan fire truck, it got on the boat.
On the Roro.
On the Ro-Ro. So your car, and so what's funny is your car and my car are on the same boat.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I got a
that's
96 Jaguar coming in, and you got a Datsun coming in, or Nissan, and they're going to be in the same boat. So I did find out today that they did get officially loaded. So they're, as they say, loaded and rolling.
Hey, there's one, just for your information,
Yeah,
there's a fire truck for sale on Craigslist. Down, Datsun fire
a
truck.
JDM fire truck.
Right, 27,000 miles, right-hand drive,
Yeah.
four-wheel drive,
Yeah,
2-liter engine.
yeah.
The guy's asking $7,500 for
That's
it.
a
but
lot of good stuff right there.
But I talked to him about it,
Right.
and I did find out that they do have like 411 gears or something.
Yes, they do.
And so
Yeah.
they spin up a little bit on the
Yeah.
freeway, but
Where is it?
it's on 76, like
Yeah.
parallel to Columbus. Like if you took 77 down to 76,
Oh, so it's
and it's
in
like
the
right
state?
there.
Okay.
So it's not that
In
far
Ohio.
away.
It's in the States. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, so I was going to go
Take a look at
take
that.
a look at it tomorrow. But
Hey,
then I
man, you
thought,
know, just saying, $5,000 cash goes a long way. Right. And there's a reason that we talked about this. There's a reason that people see all these Japanese fire trucks, and they're very tantalizing because, you know, four-wheel drive. Some of them have a double cab. You can put, 6 of your friends with you. Why don't the Japanese people buy them all up? Well, the reason the Japanese people don't buy them all up is because they're generally geared super low to compensate for 2,000 pounds of pump equipment or water or whatever else they're carrying with them. So there might be a little sketchy at 60 miles an hour.
I look at it like the two-wheel drive one I bought.
Yeah.
You could just replace the rear end.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just put like
It wouldn't even be a hard thing to replace.
it would be a very easy thing
right.
to do.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I noticed, sir, that you have a Nissan hardbody in front of your mobile home. I would just like to purchase the axle out of that, Yeah, to change your whole world. Yeah, make everything nicer.
I do the pinion and ring and pinion.
Yep.
Do a
Replace
ring
them
and
right
pinion,
out.
Whatever ratio
Yeah.
you want.
So that's a great idea when we're thinking about the idea of having like a unique motorcycle hauler, something that's fun that not everyone else has. I've always loved El Caminos. I'm one of those weird guys. I'm okay with two-wheel drive. I'm okay with comfort. I love an El Camino, and especially the older the better, right? So I'm a big fan of that whole jam. Super cool. So I did want to talk about last night or yesterday before the weather dipped on us. I made an excursion out to Strongsville, and I rescued or adopted, I guess is the right term, yet another Honda CM91.
Ooh.
Now, John, bring us up to speed so the people out there that watch this damn thing or listen to this thing can understand. CM91 is code.
I mean, to my knowledge, a CM91 is just going to be, it's going to be a 90 Cub, basically. So 90 cc.
Yep.
It should be the overhead cam motor. It's not the push rod motor.
And that's why it's important. So when you're looking at these and somebody's saying like, hey, you know, I got a Honda Cub, which is normally a 50 cc, you might then go, okay, 50 cc is fine.
Yeah.
But the 90 is the one you want to get.
Yeah, so think of a Passport 70.
Yeah.
Well, no, this is a 90. So
Right.
you get a little, no replacement for displacement.
Yep. And they brought them in 1966 and 1967.
And I think you might get 4 ratios.
You do.
Yeah.
So here's what makes these so cool is what you said is exactly right. 90 cc's, but if you see a CM90, well, that's the push rod motor. If you see the CM91, those came into the United States in 66 and 67. No turn signals. Okay, no turn signals on the bike at all.
Metal fenders, though, right?
The front, I think, is plastic.
Oh, because
Yeah.
the earlier ones
We're metal. Yep. This is a front plastic, but you look down at the head of the motor, and when you look at the head of the motor, you're going to see that it's an overhead valve motor. And that is the difference between a CM90 and a CM91.
I don't think you get electric start with them like a later Passport, kickstart.
Kickstart only.
Low little pipe.
They advertised it as 55 miles per hour. That feels optimistic to me.
Downhill, no wind resistance. Yeah.
But I did think that'd be fun.
I could hit 55 with my 70.
Right, with your Passport
Really?
70. Absolutely.
Yeah, not like uphill, not with a
Yeah.
wind, but on a
Yeah.
flat, I could get 55 out of it when
pretty
it's
good.
running optimally.
So now in my personal stable, I have 2 CM91s and no titles.
Nice.
No titles?
No titles.
Oh, too bad.
Yeah.
Mid-Ohio.
100%
Yeah.
usually the case with those.
Yeah, well, because that was an era when they didn't title those bikes. Under 125 cc's, a lot of states didn't title them.
We're just like the PC 50 I have.
Right, yeah.
It's a moped.
Right, it's a moped.
But you can't do anything with it.
Right.
So when you go, you have to have the guy sign it over as a PA 50.
Right.
And then they'll give you a plate for it.
You can get a moped plate.
But the PC 50s were overhead valve,
Yep.
4 strokes,
Yeah.
which was
Yeah.
cool. And the tires were an oddball size.
Very weird size tire.
And the tank was above and behind the back seat.
Yep.
And it's a cool moped.
It's a noped. Yeah.
The only way I could get parts is through Britain.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
I needed bushings to rebuild the entire suspension.
Yeah.
And I got bushings. I got a tire because the tire is such an odd size.
That's a 14-inch, I think. Is that what
no, it's a 20.
Oh, it is a super tall.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's a very odd size tire for a moped.
Right.
So, but it's super narrow too.
Yeah. So that's kind of fun. So we like talking about small weird bikes, and yet another small weird bike has been added to the stable. It was funny because when the person called the shop and said, "I've got a bike," and you could tell that they weren't sure whether they had $1,000 worth of bike, $3,000 worth of bike, or $0 worth of
So
bike.
I had no idea what
They
they were
had
selling.
no idea what they had going on, but they had cleaned out the garage of a formerly living human, and they had gotten
Formerly
a
living
CB750 with a title.
I like that.
And so the CB750, the title, they were able to, liquidate pretty quickly. But they said the guy that came out and got the CB750 with the title didn't even want whatever that red bike was. So they were like,
it's red?
It's scarlet. Yeah.
Usually they're black and
They're usually
white.
black, yeah. So I've got 2 of them that both happen to be red.
Wow.
So in the front window of my shop,
Nice.
I've got one that's incorrectly restored. It's aesthetically, it's nice to look at, but if you look at it closely, everything's wrong.
If you need parts, I know Bruce had a couple of them. I don't know if he still has them or
Right.
if he gave them to Joel, but let him know.
Did he have titles?
Yeah, that's a good thing to know too.
I
This
don't
one's.
think he has any kind of title, but
I need
can
a
ask him.
unless his spare part is having a spare title, we're good to go. But this one's got a broken speedometer, which is pretty common on those. But the speedometers you can buy through Vietnam, where they continued making and selling those bikes forever. It is an interchangeable item, so it's cool. So I'm pretty happy about that. What I think is hilarious, though, is the one that we have at the shop that's incorrectly restored has got like Vietnamese leg shields on it from the 50. So it doesn't have the openings in the leg shields for the valve adjustments. And it has Vietnamese aftermarket seat. So like you said, you get up close and you look at it, you're like, oh, there's a lot of things that are wrong with that bike. But it runs awesome. And I put really nice tires on it, like modern tires. And we had some fun. That was a bike that a customer had dropped off and wanted us to resurrect and make run and safe and everything again. And then that person also left this mortal plane. So
as one does.
There's a lot of that going around.
Now, with that kind of a thing, as a shop owner, can you apply for some kind of a title because they're dead?
In some states, and this is true, that in some states, a motorcycle dealership can get a salvage title or an abandoned vehicle title or a mechanic's lien for vehicles that are left at their shop. So here's where it gets really funky. If that person on that vehicle ever had a title, the second that they become deceased and the state knows that they're deceased, forget any chance of getting that title because there's a title on record for the vehicle. Go ahead, Chris.
Except if you do the HOFFERT trick, everybody has to sign a TOD when they drop their things off.
Oh, yeah.
You guys, I'm going to tell you right now.
What's a TOD?
Steve, tell them about...
Transfer on death.
Yeah, take that microphone and tell the people what this is because if you learn nothing else in this podcast tonight, you should learn about TOD.
Okay, so in Ohio, you can have your title instead of when you die, you have to go to probate. You have to take all your vehicles to probate, and they have to run through the court. Well, you can, at the time of getting your title, you can get something. You can request a transfer on death
title.
So no, it's just a name on the title,
Right.
So you could name anybody. And I typically name my wife, but you could name anybody you want. To be, you could name a motorcycle shop, really. You could name. Right. It doesn't matter, but you just need their name, their address, and their social security number, and then when you buy it, they can take all your titles. You take them right to the title bureau, and they transfer them directly into the name of the person on the TOD.
Yeah, guys.
So
completely avoid probate on the whole
guys
thing.
Totally avoid it.
This is something.
But it was more important.
Take it.
It was more important before when Ohio had a limit of like 3 vehicles.
Right.
So now I think it's unlimited vehicles below the total resale value of like $50,000.
Right. Yep.
So in my case, my stuff's worth like 12 cents, so it doesn't matter anymore. But I did it because you could only transfer through like 3 vehicles. But now it doesn't matter how many vehicles you could transfer. So it's really, now it's less necessary, but it's also makes it more convenient, so you might as well do it. And it doesn't cost you any more money.
Guys, as a guy who runs a shop for 21 years, I'm going to give you, if you're over the age of 60 and you smoke or drink or dance fast
or have any kind of fun,
right, or hang out with us, you should already have your vehicles set up with a TOD in the name of the person you love or care about or whatever.
Or Phil.
Because, I mean, years
ClevelandMoto.
ago... Yeah. Look, years ago, I wrote a will, and in my will, I specifically said my entire collection of motorcycles was going to go into the name of a friend of mine. So that if something weird happened to me, it wouldn't have to be Merritt's problem liquidating 95 motorcycles.
Oh, can I?
Right?
I'm sorry. Can I cut in for 1
please
second?
do.
The other thing you could do too is form a trust, which is I have one too, and then anything of value that you have, basically you don't put the title in your name. You put it in it's Grumpy Sewer Guy Revocable Trust, So everything in the trust is designated. There's rules for everything that happens to anything in that trust. So if you put all your belongings in the trust, then it's not touched by probate. It can't be touched by the government. I guess suppose this is what the lawyer says. Yep. So if you put it in there, then if as soon as you die, the executor of the trust will say, well, the motorcycles, it specifically designates the motorcycles to be transferred over to this person. If this person is not alive, then it's transferred over to this person, and it doesn't go through probate either. Yep. So you could do it either way. TOD only lets you transfer to one person. Trust lets you transfer to whatever the instructions in the trust have, and it's actually a trust is probably the better way to go. But for somebody who doesn't want to spend all this money on a lawyer to get a trust, the TODs are the.
I believe there might be a tax consequence in Ohio, at least with trusts.
There is.
At $12,500, I believe, is
as a dealer,
the
we
first
do a lot
amount.
of trusts.
Yeah. So if it's over $12,500, then they start to tax you at a pretty heavy rate. But I could be wrong.
Do I look like a person that owns anything more?
I was going to say, do you think any of his bikes are only 12,000?
Well, but that would be cumulative,
right? It is cumulative, right? So, and that's why there's that number, and you brought that number up too. And I just got to say, when we sell bikes, a lot of times when we sell bikes to people, that what's a nice way to put it? We sell motorcycles to people sometimes that may not live past the warranty. Okay,
that's a nice way to
they
put
can get
it.
an extended warranty on the bike, but not on themselves, right? And so when we do that, it's funny when people do come in and they'll buy stuff and they'll be like, I'm like, okay, I'll give them an application for title and I'll say, okay, fill this out. Okay, put your name on the top line, and they go, oh, they'll fill it out and it'll say like, you know, Mary T. Rotten Crotch Revocable Trust, right? And I'm like, oh, okay, we are very familiar with that. We're used to dealing with it. The state's no problem. But that tells you that this is a person that probably owns enough stuff that they don't want probate. Now, here's where the dirty word is probate. This is the word you never want to deal with. I do not care if your will says this 1983 Camaro, VIN number, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, goes to my brother dipshit Billy, right? And it's in my will. That means nothing. It means not a damn thing. If it's in the will and it says the VIN of the vehicle, means nothing.
What about spouses? Like, they don't consider anything with the spouse?
Welcome to probate.
Really?
So when you die, your spouse is going to have to go to court to prove that she's the only spouse that has any claim to your property. Because it would be not uncommon for maybe the woman that you used to be married to when you guys bought that Airstream trailer together to think that our trailer, and now you aren't married to her anymore. You're married to this new person. And now this new person, when you die, has to go in and prove that she is truly your next of kin and that the laws of probate will eventually mean that her name will be on your title. That takes an extremely long time. Been through it twice. Don't want to do it ever again. When my mom was not looking so good, we went and put everything on a transferable on death. Everything on a transferable on death.
So, like, if I'm looking at my garage and I have my bikes, some of them don't have titles, I don't care. But the ones that do, can I do that on one sheet? Can this be
No. You're going to go in and you're going to take you're going to go into the title bureau and you're going to say, I have these vehicles that are in my name.
Yeah.
I would like to change my status on my title to being transferable on death.
$15 plus $1.
Yeah.
Per vehicle?
Yep.
$15 plus $1?
Yeah, for the notary fee.
Yeah, notary fee. Yeah.
Wait, but you do that only one time when you register the bike, and that's it, right? You don't do it like every year.
No, but if you didn't do it when you
if you would like to do one retroactively,
your stack of titles in, and you can get it done. But it's $15.
Even getting a
title.
duplicate title is still $10. So if you're getting a duplicate title, spend the extra $5 to get a TOD and make whoever it is that loved you when you were here make their life easier when you're gone.
I mean, that doesn't sound ridiculous to avoid a huge pain in the ass.
It's not.
No,
I know.
It's
$10 is not that bad for.
But you still have to go to
I know you just bought a new house.
Do you want to?
I know you're trying to sell that FZ.
Do you want to wait
I got
until?
another surprise.
Do you want to wait
Jay.
until the person that you love has to put an advert, like literally an ad in a paper to announce your death, so that any person that they believe that they lay claim to your property can have an ample period of time to come and claim your property? Or do you just want your wife to get the fucking title? Right.
That's a good idea.
It's really a big deal, and we go through it a lot. I've got at the shop right now, it's because of COVID. You guys, COVID has had an impact. I right now at the shop have 4 motorcycles. The owners of those motorcycles are non-riders. They're non-breathers. They're non-everything.
What do you, a statistic? I read a statistic from the insurance board.
Yeah.
from last year, and non-COVID deaths are up 40%.
Sure.
So it's not only COVID; it's also people. 40% more people died in the age group of like 0 to 65 or something.
I've got
last year
4 bikes in my shop right now. I've got 4 machines, and these 4 machines all have service invoices over $2,000, and I'm never going to get paid for those. And I'm also never going to get the titles for that because it's got to go through probate. So even like the joke was, seriously, if a guy brings a bike into my shop and he's not looking so good,
TOD.
power of attorney,
Power
right?
of attorney.
Power of attorney, whatever. But so that I can at least go get a title. But I hate to give this advice over on anything that's permanent. If somebody you love dies before any paperwork can go anywhere from anything or anybody, get your ass to the title office. Get a power of attorney. Have a power of attorney standing by, because at least if you got a power of attorney, you can go in and get that title.
and have somebody post-date everything.
I'm saying don't post-date it. I'm saying
predate it. Predate it. Yeah,
I'm
predate
saying
it.
get in there and make it happen fast, right? If you got a slimy notary or somebody that you work with,
We all know one of those.
okay. But if you have that, the longer you wait, it is astonishing to me how quickly the people that work for the title bureau are aware of somebody's passing.
Don't pull the plug on your loved ones until you scribble
right,
a power of attorney to
Yeah.
transfer all this stuff into your name.
Yeah, no,
That's basically the advice of ClevelandMoto.
Yeah, right, exactly. So we're gonna call
You're
the death.
friends at ClevelandMoto.
We're gonna call the death at midnight. No, you're not gonna call the
You're
death.
not. You're going to be doing
Right.
CPR until
Right.
the next day when you can get to the title.
I got to go to the
bureau.
title bureau.
Here, take
Right.
over here.
That's exactly right.
You signed
Keep
the power
pumping.
of attorney.
So this next week, when I'm getting this new title transferred from a thing that I'm buying tomorrow morning, that I was going to ask John to go with me, but he has to operate, so he can't.
Copycat.
So what I'm going to want to do is, when I take the title to get it transferred, I'm going to say I would like a TOD.
Transfer
You
on
need
death.
and you need your wife's social security number.
No, he doesn't need his wife's social security. He needs my social security
Oh,
number.
yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
there you go.
okay.
That's it.
Or mine. Because I need spare parts. All right, Albite, what thing are you buying tomorrow?
So I have the coolest wife ever. So since we sold the house and we have this money,
Coolest bike ever.
she's let me, I found a deal that I wanted to get, so she's let me grab it knowing that I'm going to sell my FJ. So I have 35 days to put at least $7,500 back in the account.
Wow.
But I am picking up a 3,000-mile Africa Twin tomorrow.
Damn straight, son.
I'm
It's like the
selling mine
Motorcycles
now.
and Misfits podcast. We're getting more Africa Twins than we can handle.
I'm going to sell mine for $7,500 the day after he buys
Day
his
after
for
he buys
95.
his. So I heard you were looking for an FJ.
It's got a triple.
Dude,
That's
you got.
like knuckle draggers drive triples.
I forgot what it was like to sell a motorcycle on Marketplace. Oh my God.
Come to Jesus moment right there,
Oh,
isn't it?
dude.
What's it like putting your shit on Facebook Marketplace?
Oh, it's so amazing.
Yeah.
It says no trades, and I think I actually did it like 7 times, said no trades, no trades, no
Right.
trades.
Yeah.
I love your bike, man. I can bring some cash. I have a PlayStation 5, Nintendo. Do you like mountain bikes? No trades, dude. Sorry. Next one. I love your bike. I will pay full price. Okay.
Cool.
Well, what do you accept? U.S. dollars. What about a money order? No,
Right.
U.S. dollars.
Right.
Well, that's the same thing. No,
No, it isn't.
Because when your guy comes to collect the bike, no. I go, if he comes with cash, that's fine with me.
Cash is cash.
So that's been all day today.
Yeah.
And then I had John that's like, just, I'll give you $7 and all the things. And I didn't realize it was him at first until I realized it was him. And I was like, fucker.
You fished his ad? Nice.
What'd you
Is that
say?
an FZ or an MT?
Yeah.
Oh, it's an MT. Ooh.
Can I take a test
Those
ride?
are fighting words.
I like to ride in ice.
Is that an MT-09? Yeah. Oh, that's the MT-09 Touring Edition.
Exactly.
Oh, you dick. Nice. I respect that. That's bad.
It's good style, actually. I wasn't
Yeah,
going
that's
to
good.
get
That's a good solid move.
How rude. You wouldn't even set up a test ride for,
No, I wouldn't.
for tomorrow.
For tomorrow.
One of our podcast listeners, I know Steve's into this. One of our podcast listeners has a SYM Wolf 150.
Does he want to sell it?
He wants to give it to you.
No.
You just got to make your way to Central Pennsylvania.
I'm going there tomorrow. I'm going to Pennsylvania tomorrow. I'm going.
What part of Pennsylvania are you going to?
How does this work out?
All right.
Stand by.
Yeah.
GSG?
He said if Grumpy Sewer Guy wants it, it's here. It runs, rides, lights, stops, tires hold air, starter doesn't work, kickstart does. All for the low price of driving to the middle of Pennsylvania.
I'm there.
Yeah.
But I'll give him something for it. I mean, I don't.
Brown liquor.
Anyway, yeah. So anyway,
Bottle of brown liquor.
Yeah, but anyway, if I remember correctly, he's like in that Altoona-ish area.
Oh, wait, no, New York. Mayville, New York, sorry.
Oh, well, I
Same
don't know where
thing.
that is.
Pennsylvania, New York, it's all
Well,
kind
no,
of the
it's
same
literally
thing.
right on the border. It's 2 hours and 1 minute away from my house.
Oh, from your house?
No, from here, sorry.
From here, yeah. So that's like...
It's on the border of Ohio and
That's
Pennsylvania?
Erie. That's outer Erie.
Yeah, so it's like New York, Erie area.
That's New York, AKA...
I think Steve should leave right now.
Right, exactly.
It's over by
I need the address.
I'll get you the address, Steve. You'll be good to go. We'll make it happen for
It's
you.
over by Mercyhurst.
But I literally told the guy, you know, we've done deals before in the past and stuff. He also has a fiddle, a SYM fiddle, with very low miles for cheap. Well, you know, under $2,000, I think.
What are those? Those are 150s?
It's a 200.
It's a 200?
It's technically, I think, a 166. But anyway. No, it's not an HD. The fiddle is.
That's air cooled, right?
Yeah. That is a SYM under the most generous of terms. Yeah. Right. Yeah. You know how SYM is kind of, you know, Taiwan? Mm-hmm. This is sort of not one. This is
Not one.
This is not one. Not Taiwan on, not one on. So anyway, but I thought that was kind of funny since you're doing that deal.
Yeah.
So you get 35 days to sell your Tracer.
Yeah. Well, it's because they don't have FJ09 on.
No,
them,
they
so
don't
I
have
had to-
FJ09 listed.
I know, so I had to put
You
Tracer.
have a bike that is rare enough that Facebook Marketplace doesn't acknowledge its existence.
Yeah, I guess. No, it's not very rare, but they just don't like it.
Stands at 4,500.
Yep. See?
Yeah.
Yep.
No, but I did come in low. I told
got
her
round wheels and
I
everything.
actually told her 7. I said I will replace $7,000.
Oh, okay.
Because that way it gives me like a little
Gives you a little
leeway.
wiggle room, yeah.
Not that I would take 7, but I'm just saying in case it gets kind of desperate toward
In case
the
you
end.
got to come out of pocket for your own wife.
Well, she will kill me.
Go up to 7.
She will kill me.
She will. Yeah. I totally
Go
get
to
that.
4,700.
4,700.
Oh, jeez.
Jeez Louise.
I heard those things have a really bad vibration between like 5 RPM and 9,000
Between
RPM.
68 and 74 miles per hour, they got a little bit of
I bet that thing hasn't had a valve job yet either.
All day.
And there's like
I
at
did
least
10 of them.
12 valves.
Yeah.
But it's probably a crappy
I did the
color,
10 I
like
could get
that
to.
crappy red color too.
Yeah, they're all that red, terrible color.
I had one of our
terrible.
customers bring in the Moto Guzzi V85 Tt.
Oh, yeah.
Which, those are cool bikes. I
Yeah.
mean, whatever. If you don't like Moto Guzzis, that's fine. Fuck you. But the V85 TT, the V85 TT came out a few years ago, and it came out in Ronald McDonald Playland, red, yellow, and white. Right?
It was tasteful, though, in a weird way.
Again,
Yeah.
Ronald McDonald Playland, red, yellow, and
It
white.
reminded me of that German artwork. Remember,
It
like
does.
the squares?
Yeah,
What was that? What was?
I can't remember. It
Yeah.
always comes to me, but it's that look used it as a campaign and
Yeah,
whatever. But
yeah.
anywho, this customer of ours, this friend of ours, managed to buy one with 11,000 miles on it.
Okay.
And but it's the Lucky Strike paint scheme, so it's the white, red, and black. And why this? The second I saw it, I was like, "Fucking like the look of that bike, man! What is going on with that?" But I remembered then later that when I was a small child, probably the age of no more than 12 or 14, I was fetishistic when it came to the Perry Dakar.
Oh, yeah.
Like, to me, the Perry Dakar was everything, which explains my fucking weird fetish for Transalps, right? Because that would have been the right era, too.
Yeah.
So I was goofy for Transalps when they came out. I've always loved Perry Dakar, whether it was the cars or the bikes or anything. Well, there was a bike that was campaigned, a Cagiva Elephant.
Oh, yeah.
Was campaigned
Elefante.
A Cagiva Elefante
Yeah.
was campaigned under Lucky Strike, and it was called the Lucky Explorer. And so the badge on the side didn't say Lucky Strike; it said Lucky Explorer. And as a kid, I loved it. So when this guy dropped his bike off for service yesterday, between the before the snow started and whatever, he dropped the bike, and I was like, oh shit! And I realized they nailed the paint scheme, minus some very large cigarette advertising. And I got on the phone to the guy immediately. I was like, you need now to hire a graphic artist and make some decals that are about 10 inches in diameter that say Lucky Explorer, because Guzzi nailed the paint scheme on this thing. It is straight out of the desert. And I gotta say, now the V85 TT comes in 37 different editions.
Yeah, it does.
So you can get a
Adventure,
V85
the
TT,
thing, the Traveler,
the Centenario, the 100th anniversary, the 200th anniversary. You can get the LR, the lowrider with the 10-inch wheels. They have made a version of the V85 TT
for
every
everyone.
way you can imagine it. I'm not a Guzzi dealer anymore, but I am still a Guzzi lover. So
Cool bike.
when this one came in, I saw it. I was like, and it's cool. Yeah.
Speaking of paint and stuff, I was on eBay the other night just kind of snorting around.
Yeah.
And if these kids now with all the sport bikes are so fucking lucky, like R6s, R1s, Gixxer 750s, all within since 2005 and stuff, the Chinese have figured out how to make the plastics. And they're pre-painting them. You can get a full plastic set pre-painted in a race scheme for like $390. I'm not kidding.
For a 90s bike or a
no, like a
2000s bike?
2000s to current, like even like
Really?
2000s.
Yeah, so you could hide that crinkled frame.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, but I'm just saying. But like, no, but like, as you know, like when you were younger, well, not you, but like when I was younger, you'd buy a fucked up bike and then you'd have to try to find plastics. I remember getting plastics for a 900, and the cowling was $490.
Well, and every time I would crash a sport bike, we'd always just buy the race shit for AirTech.
Yeah, right. And then have to paint
and that
it.
was also expensive.
Yep.
So you end up with a white bike.
You always had a white bike.
Yeah, or
Right.
stickers. But this is full on like Rothman or like they're, I'm sure they didn't license anything, but they're
'Cause
there.
it's China.
Yeah, because it says Kawasaki and Honda and Yamaha.
No, they're not that
What
bad.
the fuck is Motal? Yeah.
Designed in Japan.
Yeah.
Exactly. Designed in Japan.
But I was just like, that's crazy though. You know what I mean? Like that cheap.
Yeah, I want the
$400
Valentino Rosso edition. It's like a big number 48 on the side.
yeah.
That'd be great. So, I
The
love
nurse.
that. the nurse. Ripsaw, that's a good one too. I'm surprised we haven't done Ripsaw yet. That sounds cool. Yeah, I'd totally get behind that shit. So that's pretty.
It was
cool.
interesting,
That's a good
yeah,
thing to
right,
know, yeah. Yeah, I've always still I know you also like the RC51s.
Yeah.
For some unnatural reason.
I love them.
Oh,
And-
can I ask you a question about the RC51?
Yeah, please do.
What is I know it's that street, but I mean but what would be a street, like a more of a laid back version using that powertrain? Or is that
Yeah,
the
it's
only
called
one?
the Superhawk.
The Super.
So if you get a VT1000R Superhawk,
Yeah.
you basically have a kinder, gentler RC51. So the whole thing was, I've had a bunch of Superhawks. Our buddy Knock in Santa Cruz, he's got a hojillion miles on his Superhawk. He doesn't own a fucking car, right? Like he just rides, and he does have an obscene number of miles on his Superhawk, his daily Superhawk. I've had a bunch of them. I love them. The only complaint I've ever had about a Superhawk is it gets 32 miles to the gallon on its very best day, and it makes your dick like 9 inches longer. So there's something about a Superhawk in general that, like, if a Ducati pulls up next to it, it's just out of reflex. The Superhawk reaches over and knocks over the Ducati. They can't stop it. It's built into the DNA of the motorcycle. But
I've always just loved the sound of them.
Me too.
I mean, it's a sport bike, and you're expecting, river, and no, it's brah, brah, brah.
I remember during
V-twin.
the Mid Ohio what was it called? AMA racing.
Yeah.
Like you'd have all the bikes like, then you hear RC51, like fucking cruise. That was awesome.
Yeah,
man.
I did a few track days on the Superhawk, and I did a few track days on the Buell M2 Cyclone, which, glutton for punishment, and I'm old. So I assure you guys, when I did that, the bikes were a lot newer than they are right now.
Sure.
So they were nearly fresh.
Did you see what John posted the other day?
Yeah.
A thing. It was like, so what
I think a
20-year-old bike is? Yeah, and we were thinking of all the 70s, whatever, and then it's a fucking 2004 F4i or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
A 20-year-old bike today, a 30-year-old bike today is you think about it, I can purchase a motorcycle, 30-year-old motorcycle, and it's a really modern motorcycle.
Yeah.
It's remarkably modern. And when the amount of technology that existed in the early 90s, and then you go, okay, I can put historical plates on a 97.
Yeah, CBR 600 with a historical.
Yeah, let me get a Fireblade and put historical plates on it.
And
Fuck
the thing
you.
is the bikes that we're into, you don't think of them as being that old, but some of them are 70 years old and 60 years old and 50. I mean, it's insane.
It is insane. It's a really crazy thing when you think about how old we are.
Right.
When that all comes home to roost and you're like, wow, that's my daily driver. Oh, it's historical next year.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Fuck. Okay, well, that's good. The plates are cheap now.
Yeah.
But it is a very strange thing. You know, some of the stuff that I buy, it's like it's fuel injected, it's got ABS brakes, and it's a historical plate. You're like, oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I drove here today, 1,000 cc's, historical plates,
Right.
ABS, fuel injected. It's a car.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I drove an SUV here today with four-wheel drive and everything else, and it's got historical plates on it. It's a 97, you know? And
that's crazy.
It's a very
97.
strange thing that, you know, guess what, man? We all got old.
That means my college years are historical now.
Oh, they're totally historical. I get podcast people or like people commenting on the YouTube thing, and they're like, oh, you know, I love listening to your podcast, but I watched my first video the other day and realized you are a bunch of old assholes. Like, you're a bunch of old white men. And we're like, yeah, we're old white men, but fuck you, come and hang, man.
Yeah, right.
Like, you're coming telling me how old we are. Get out on the ice, motherfucker.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
well, and that's the thing, too. It's like, as stupid as we can.
It's done, you little whippersnapper.
Putting on a foil, coach. That's it.
All I know is that the fun that takes place on Sunday lasts for about 2 weeks for me on all over my body. Like giant
You're just a collection of bruises. You look like a Rorschach chart.
It's not
like,
good.
Yeah. I don't know. When did you start falling down all the time?
I don't know.
You need to eat more iron.
I think he needs a walker.
He doesn't get no iron in his
diet.
diet.
You're right.
No, I take iron. I take V12 and all that shit.
Yeah, okay.
No, I just got to stop falling down steps, falling off motorcycles on ice, getting run over by quads. Like, I mean, if all that didn't happen, I wouldn't be bruised.
I will say that you earned it because as our last session of ice worship, like our last ice appreciation day, when we were out there was a switch that flipped, and it wasn't the liquor because we were going real easy on the booze.
Yeah.
We were taking, like, Oscar brought out the painkillers and stuff.
Because you were having to do, you were doing the Unkie Phil set,
right.
but the guys off screen, they were going a little harder on the.
What the fuck? Yeah. Like, is at some point, Steve was just like, I'm gonna fuck this ice all up. Like,
I don't know what happened.
The video of your machine just destroying an entire pond. Like, the EPA's got to have a trust fund over there now. There's going to be a super fun site.
It was
cruelty
fun.
to ice. Like, everything that you've done.
John Sled is fun, man.
It was fun, but also watching you try to sink the Badger.
Yeah, that was not
And,
fun.
like, he was having carnal relations with your Badger for a better part of 45 minutes, and it was having none of it.
No.
Yeah. No, that Badger was like, uh-uh.
You know what's weird? I couldn't get it to turn, but you got on it and it would turn.
You couldn't get the neighbor's giant ridiculous side by over that giant ATV thing he's got.
You got to take your hand off the throttle to turn. The fucking ski's got to be on the snow.
Okay, all right.
If the ski's not on the snow, it won't turn.
I think with the Badger that when you do a donut in one direction, it gets the chains turned a certain way. So when you try to go back around the other way,
they won't have it.
You got to ride it around a little bit and
loosen the chains back up. All right, that makes sense.
That makes sense.
All right.
Carbides on your sled.
Yeah, look, this is the first time ever in the history of winters, for the past 21 winters, that I've been kind of sad to see the winter going away because we've had so much fun at your property and dicking around with silly shit. And I'm going to be a little sad when I take 311 screws out of my bike and 320 screws out of his bike.
You might not have to.
Oh, you're not going to take them out?
No, because here's the thing. Me and John came over the other day and we walked back behind the lake and we mapped out the motocross track.
Oh.
So we're going to build a motocross track.
All right.
But I think those will help kind of grind in the track.
Yeah, back in the woods so you can burn through some stumps and logs and
stuff.
Yeah, so we're going to get a nice...
If it's team spirit, leaving screws,
plus I don't think
leave the carbides in, man.
I wouldn't change to take the screws out. I just buy a new set of tires.
That's true, too.
Spoon them off, spoon them off.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right. That's cool.
If you need me to bring my tractor over, we could pull stumps.
I think, we're gonna do something. Like, it's going to have to dry out a little bit, but we walked it out, and there's plenty of room, and then behind me, there's nothing. Like, he was perfect. Like, that field is just some dude's field out in the middle of nowhere. So we can have a nice straightaway on the side, and like it's going to be fun, man. It'll be a good.
That's bad.
So since you're going to get more bruises once that gets going?
Yeah,
Hopefully not. You know what I might do? I might actually get the pants that Phil had that has the protection in them. That would be a fucking genius move right there to wear some
I fall
extra
down
gear.
a lot snowboard pants.
Yeah.
The Merit, Dr. Merritt approved. I fall down a lot snowboard pants. And you know what's nice about them? They keep all your stuff in one spot. Yeah, I give that credit. And the ones I'm rocking are the ladies version.
Okay.
I
You made
recommend
it
not
back.
getting the ladies version. Hello.
You didn't bring a drink for anybody else.
We thought you fell in.
Yeah. Very cool.
He was running the room above Porco.
Yeah, exactly. So what people don't know is right above our head right now is a proper like 2 to 3 bedroom house, above our heads. And like, so Porco could easily have a bunkhouse for at least 75 people upstairs right now. Right.
Yeah.
You could be like, here's my $80. I want to sleep in a hammock. Right. And not have to Uber home or whatever. So yeah, that's a real thing and it works that way.
That'd be a good idea.
It would be a good
Rent a
idea, wouldn't
hammock.
it?
Yeah, just a bunch of hammocks with vomit bowls next to
I
them.
would just upstairs. I would keep a nautical theme because tiki bar kind of thing. I'd keep a nautical theme and I'd make it look like a slave galley.
Yeah.
It would be like one of those, like you just call it the Amistad or something upstairs.
Oh my God!
Sorry, but
Please observe the no moaning signs.
exactly, yes, exactly.
In this back room, you'd have a conveyor belt with just cots, and then you buy your $80,
Right.
lay down on the cot,
Yeah.
and
And they just
slowly
move it over.
moves it up, and then it comes down on this side 8 hours later, and then you just step off, and you're like.
I have been
walk out
to
the
parties. I've been to parties with this group of people where a one-person hotel room or a two-person hotel room looked like you were stacking cordwood of just humans. Where we're just like, wow, whose room is this? I think this is Kurt Kuzno's room. I don't know. Who's got a key? I have no idea. And you're like, I want to go to the bathroom. You can't go to the bathroom. It's like playing Frogger, going to the bathroom. It's just body, 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 body. It's terrible, but
There's
fun.
nothing worse than when you're laying on the floor and all of a sudden you feel something warm and you're like, oh no, somebody didn't go to the bathroom.
Somebody didn't make it to the bathroom, right? Exactly. That is not baseboard heating, my friend. Yeah, that's not geothermal. No, that's the guy next to you. Yeah, Mr. Snores a lot. Yeah, that's invariably what happened just now.
Snores and leaks a lot.
Snores and leaks a
You know,
lot. Yeah.
not to bring up Mid-Ohio because we talk about it too much.
We do, but it's okay.
When me and John were walking around that night at like 2 a.m., you realize how many fucking people snore. Like, I mean, like through their motor horns.
Snore is an understatement of Mid-Ohio. Mid-Ohio is one of those places where you're sitting in your vehicle or like in your van or whatever. I'm in a van, and I'm in a fucking van. I've got 5,000-6,000 pounds of metal around me.
Right.
And you know what I got? I got the guy snoring 3 campers over,
Oh, yeah.
and he's drowning out his own generator.
Right. And the fun part is, too, is when you hear the guys and, like, they stop for about 30 seconds.
Well,
and you're like, oh, God, he's dead. And
There should be the Mid-Ohio CPAP rental. Instead of renting a golf cart, you just rent a CPAP for Mid-Ohio. Yeah, man.
At lunch, John does that all the time. So he stops breathing for like 4 or 5 minutes, and then so we went in and got
My
that.
breath for a long time.
Apparently.
So the one
like a sea
one
lion.
kid goes out there, he hooks up the acetylene or the O2 line from the O2 tanks for the oxyacetylene welder, and just starts spraying it.
I never got better rest than that lunch break.
Well, yeah.
John's having pure O2 just poured
Get
into him.
like on the
He's in
airplane
an
where the
O2 bar.
matches fall down from the ceiling.
Yes, that's a
You
good
throw
idea.
them on, that'd be
Yep.
perfect.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys knew this, but when you're in an airplane and those masks do come down and you pull that thing, what you're actually doing is you're cracking an ampule of a chemical that as it degenerates, as it breaks down, it generates oxygen.
Oh.
So there is no oxygen tank in the airplane. There is no cylinder of oxygen that you all are sharing.
So how long does that last? Be like,
20 minutes tops.
Oh, so
Yeah.
like an emergency landing's got to happen. Or at least got to come down low enough to
Yeah,
get.
the idea is you
20
come down
minutes is enough for you to fall from 50,000 feet.
Yeah,
to
it,
10,000 feet. Exactly.
it lasts all the way to the scene of the crash.
It does. It is exactly. And it may not even be 20 minutes. I may be giving it way too much credit. It may be 8 or 10 minutes worth.
And are we sure it's
they
not?
want you to be awake when you die.
Well, I was gonna say, you're sure it's not just some kind of anesthetic that eventually?
That's what I would say. I'd be like, it's just nitrous.
That's exactly what I
It's just
Yeah.
one small cylinder of nitrous. You're
He's
like,
like, "Woohoo!"
it's like the equivalent of 4 whippets.
Give it to me. Give it to me now.
Yeah.
I want to kiss the ground. Let's go. Bring it.
Yeah, it's like, man, you know, does this taste like strawberries to you? Because it kind of tastes like strawberries to me. So I was going to say earlier, when you have whippets, it makes your voice really low. It's like you get the James Earl Jones voice.
Yeah.
Every time at my house,
Oh yeah, this is good.
the balloons that don't float are the best.
You ever see a kid fish out on that shit?
Yeah.
And just like turn into a complete fish?
Yes.
Oh, it's so
absolutely.
good.
Yeah.
It happened to my buddy at a fish show.
I was
did
at,
really?
I was at a rave where they had a fucking trampoline.
Yeah.
And this kid was doing a nitrous balloon. He's supposed to flop on his back on the trampoline.
Yeah.
But everybody else forgot about it. So when he did that, he hit it and then bounced up and then flipped off and like
yeah.
landed on his face somewhere.
Oh man.
My
Yeah.
buddy went down just as the cops were closing in on us, and I scattered, but he fell over. So I circled back around, and as they were like helping him off the ground, I was like, "Jim, hey, where you been? I've been looking all over for you." And I
Yep.
just grabbed him and hustled him off. And
Yep.
they were able to like, oh,
Yeah.
what just happened there?
Look, man, I just to this day I can't trust a dentist because they have way too much access to that.
Well, they have a movie. Steve Martin played the guy.
Again,
You know how many people die though? Like cleaning people are like, "Oh, I'm gonna try out the nitrous," and they put the mask on,
and they pass out.
and then you just die. I mean,
My
without,
my next door neighbor growing up. So I had my best friend was this guy named Tom, and
Right.
his brother was 4 years older. So when we were like 12, he was 17, 18, driving and stuff. And then when he got to be 20, he started racing hydroplanes, like the little like hydroplane boats. So his mom came in and found him dead with a boner in the shower because he didn't realize that nitrous fucking for a car is different than nitrous. That you
It's
get from
not the
thing.
same thing at all.
Yeah, so he fished out and died in the bathtub.
well, it's denatured and it'll give you a headache, but it's probably more that just he fished out. Like
Right.
Yeah.
he put a mask on or something that would stay on after he passed out,
Yeah,
and then it'll kill
exactly.
you.
And then it's kept going. And then I'll never forget it, man. I walked in like it was like a week afterwards. I'm talking to Tom and like he's really sad and like we're all because like that was our ride and
Yeah.
our dude. And his mom's like, nothing worse than coming home and finding your son with a boner dead in the shower. And I'm just like, oh man, I didn't want to hear that.
I'm not joking. There's got to be at least 100 whippets here in this bar.
Oh yeah,
Right? And at my house too, because we only believe in like real whipped cream.
Yeah.
And so if you go to my house, it's like, oh man, remember we used to do whippets? Game on. I've got all that crap. Do you know why? Because I don't like Ready Whip.
Yeah.
Because I make my own whipped cream.
So wait a second. I don't understand.
You
the
were
whippet
so
thing.
uncool.
Thanks for asking. I was
yeah,
No,
I'm out on
because
the fringe
because
here too.
When I make
exactly.
whipped cream,
Right.
I take an egg beater and I
Yeah.
beat the cream and I
Right.
put sugar in there
Yeah.
and I whip it until it turns into whipped
So
cream.
I have a large metal vessel,
like a seltzer thing.
a seltzer bottle, right? And at the top of it, there's a little cap that you unscrew, a little cartridge holder. You put a CO2 cartridge, what you would call a CO2 cartridge in it, but it's nitrous.
right.
So you'd think it's a 12-gram CO2 cartridge.
Well, I know that there's nitrous oxide.
And they come in
CO2
different flavors,
cartridges, yeah.
right? And you put the nitrous in there, and you screw it on, and then whatever 8 or 12 ounces of cream or whatever product you put in there, eggnog's awesome. Like you can do all kinds of fun stuff, and you put it in there, and then you screw it on, and then you've got whipped topping for all your friends.
So wait, you don't have to beat the whipped cream.
You don't got to
can
beat.
just pull
You got to
the
beat
trigger
now.
and it.
Again,
It's got to be cold though, right?
the only thing you got to beat is yourself when the whippet's empty. Yeah, and that's it. But super cold is a helper. That's a bonus. But yeah, super cold. Pour like heavy whipping cream in there, right? Put a little sugar, put a little
that's way
vanilla in
easier
there.
than killing
Way
yourself
easier than
every
sitting
time you
there
make
doing this
whipped cream.
Amish style. Yeah, right. How do you make butter?
Same way.
That's it.
No, if you keep on whipping your whipped cream, it turns into butter.
My point being, I got a machine or a little device that put that little cartridge in there.
So if
and
you
you're-
put the whipped cream in it and hit it again, does it turn into butter?
no. And why would you want that?
I was kidding, by the way.
Butter's a before thing. But just the same for people that are nitrous enthusiasts, our friend of ours, a friend of Renee's, was doing a stand-up act in Los Angeles, and we went and saw him, and he's a comic, and he's not like a headliner. He's more of a more of a
footliner.
A fluffer.
I was going to say more of a bedliner, right? He ain't way up there. But we went and saw him, and his whole deal, like his shtick, his rap, was he gets up on stage and he does a dozen whippets.
Oh.
So he just straight up cracks a dozen whippets, and the audience is just like, 4's way too many, 5's way too many, 7's way too many. These have got to be props. 11's way too many. And then I think when he gets to a dozen, he starts doing his act. And you're like, I've done an whippet, I've done 3. I would never consider doing 12. But then he does his act with his James Earl Jones voice on, but he's had 12 nitrous whippets, and he does his act.
Whippets are just displacing oxygen. You can blow. You can fill up a balloon with the nitrous oxide.
Right, yeah.
Breathe it in. Blow it back out.
Yeah.
Have fun, and as long as you keep, it's just.
The point, the long and short.
You can do the same thing with helium. If you take helium and huff it, it's just displacing the oxygen.
Yep.
You're
Nitrogen too, because we used to have a thing called a PSA.
Yeah.
It's a pressure swing absorption to make pure oxygen.
Right.
So, and I probably told this story before, but it creates pure oxygen by absorbing the nitrogen.
That's right.
And then it blows the nitrogen out the roof, the stack out the roof. Well, in a certain city in Chicago, by Chicago, that will
a certain city
unnamed,
in Chicago that
no,
we won't
outside of Chicago that remained unnamed.
Right. Yeah.
They had the same thing.
Right.
And I worked on these machines.
Right.
But I didn't work in Chicago. I mean, I worked in Euclid.
Yeah.
But the text from the company came out and said the guy died
Yeah.
because what he was doing to get high was he would go to that stack.
And he'd just breathe the stack?
He'd hang his arms over the stack and breathe the nitrogen and get high.
Hey, look, man, if you ever
pure
work in a
nitrogen.
factory,
And then he passed out with his arms over the stack,
Yeah.
and his head was in the stack,
Yeah.
and so he never got any air.
there
and
you
he
go.
died.
I know we probably talked about it before, but a real simple thing, if you ever go into anybody else's shop, a shop you don't own, a shop you don't run, a factory you don't own, a factory you don't run, whatever, and you're going to plug in your hood, you're going to do some sandblasting, right? You got your hood, you plug your hood into air, shop air. Careful, because a lot of factories at night or on the weekends will purge the moisture out of their airlines using nitrogen. And so if you go in there Monday morning and you're the first person to plug in, and you're not plugging in your compressor, you're not plugging in your sandblaster, you're not plugging in your paint gun, you're plugging in your hood. So if you're plugging in your hood to the shop air,
You're getting nitrogen.
you're getting nothing but nitrogen. I don't care how many filters you got in the way. You could have 3 filters, doesn't matter, it's not going to filter out nitrogen. The nitrogen is the absence of air. You're going to put your hood on, and we lost a painter. So we had we had 2 painters that died. The company I was working for went into Alcoa Aluminum and plugged in with their hoods to do sandblasting.
With all those lines would be huge.
And so they thought they were getting air. They weren't getting air, and they died. So, factories can be
That's
dangerous
a shitty
places.
way to go, too.
That is a crappy way to go, to drown on dry land.
And you're just innocently going to work. You're just innocently like plugging it. Like you weren't even fucking doing anything.
Look, they were painters. They were never innocent.
Dude,
If you've ever met a union painter,
when I raced RC
They barely
cars.
even knew what was happening, though. I mean,
No,
they
you have no
plugged
idea
them
what's
in, and all of a sudden they probably started feeling lightheaded. I got the wah 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 wahs,
right,
and then
right.
next thing you know, poof.
That's probably how some of our listeners go through life every single day.
There's back when I raced RC cars like 20 years ago, this guy, he was like, everybody knew him, but he was kind of annoying.
Yeah.
He was like this. He brought his kids that were fucking super annoying and whatever.
Yeah.
But like, he disappeared for about 2 months. Everybody's like, what happened to the guy? And he had to go to rehab. And we're like, oh, what was he doing?
Yeah.
And he didn't do anything. He was a painter, and he didn't wear gloves and shit. So for years, he was getting all this shit absorbed through his fingers. And when they started making him wear gloves at his job, he started getting really sick. And then he found out he was going through withdrawal.
Every painter I've ever had, or every painter we've lost 3 painters in my world at the shop. We've had 3 people that used to paint for us that are dead now, of circumstances. But painting is not a long lifespan job.
Or you have to take it real seriously.
Yeah.
Like I always wear the rubber gloves. I have the 3M like full-on respirator and the.
Most of the guys that I knew growing up were painting shit in the backyard or painting shit in the
just
garage.
holding their breath for a
They're
second.
holding their breath and spraying. Yeah, that's
You
like
should get the 6M respirator. It's even better.
the 6M.
I heard it's twice as good.
You double up your 3Ms to get a 6M. Nice. Yeah, I can see that. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
I love it. So I don't have any major news in the motorcycle industry to
No
to
hate
share.
mail?
No, you know what? I didn't get any proper hate mail this week. Nothing.
Joke.
Nothing that would constitute as.
Oh, a joke? What?
Yeah, Smith failed this last week.
Yeah,
he had
he
nothing.
You fucked up.
Oh wait, he's getting out his
Oh, wait, he's
reader.
getting out his shit. All right, there we go.
Got the cheaters on.
The spectacles are coming out.
I don't.
Got the cheaters on.
I got to say, we've never had a complaint about a bad joke, but we did get an absolute. We got. Well, strike that.
Lambasted?
Strike that. The joke, the 20-minute joke about the swing, that thing.
yeah.
That. Yeah. But I did get people ask us to retell or to back them up on the Superman joke, the Wonder Woman joke. So the Wonder Woman joke.
I don't have it with me.
So now, but here's what's hilarious: is people sent me an electronic mail. So people went to the trouble of crafting an electronic mail to ask us to repeat the joke that they heard on an MP3.
Right, that they could go back to.
That they could go back and listen to on any one of thousands of sources. But again, I would like to file that under the let me Google that for you.
Yeah.
Fuck you, okay? Just fuck you. Don't ask me to do work that you could do easier than you did typing me the message asking me to.
Maybe it's just a presentation.
The whole idea was this. Superman's flying along, sees Wonder Woman laying naked on the roof of a building. Says, "This is my chance." Swoops down,
I remember now.
screws the hell out of
Yes.
her, and bails. And she's like, "Oh my God, I don't know what happened." And the Invisible Man says, "I don't either. That was something."
butt hurts.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Okay. You got it. That's the premise, right? Yeah, that's
I remember
it.
that. Yeah.
All right. So Chris, set us up, baby.
So first off, statistically, 6 out of 7 dwarves are not happy.
6 out of 7 dwarfs are not happy.
Yeah, grumpy, Doc.
I get it.
That's just the starter. I got fired from my job as a kitchen chef for stealing equipment. It was a risk I was willing to take. Oh. Yeah, I know. Man.
Now we are going to get the bad joke.
That was a weak joke.
Hate mail.
Settle down.
How do you find Will Smith in the snow?
I have no idea.
Look for the Fresh Prince.
Oh,
That's good.
that was a good one. 80s, 90s. That's
That's a pretty good one. Yeah, kick it around a little bit.
so good.
So one day a priest told the Mother Superior he was going to go to town and try to convert some of the ladies of the evening.
Okay.
So later on, he went in, drove around to the certain section of the town known for the ladies of the evening. The first one he approached came up to him and asked him before he had a chance to say anything, "Hey, Father, how about a little head for 10?" He was clueless and embarrassed. He didn't know what to do, so he left quickly. He approached another young woman, and again, before he could say a word, she says, "Hey, Father, how about a little head for 10?" Again, he left quickly, returned to the convent to talk to the Mother Superior. And once he got back there, he said to the Mother Superior in a whispered tone, "What's head?" She replied, 10, same as in town.
Same as in town.
So for people that are not actually watching the YouTube video, Chris has to actually print out
He
of
literally
the joke
prints it
itself.
out.
Yeah, he actually prints it out. He's not looking
the
on
only
his
guy I
phone.
ever knows, like going somewhere. He's like, "Hold on, let me print this out on MapQuest."
He actually does print it out.
It's like, where are we going? Kentucky. It's a 4-pager.
You can't go wrong with a hard copy, though.
Yeah,
No, because you at least
Hard
the
copy?
joke comes out right.
yeah.
Because I always seem to try to tell a joke and it won't come out right.
Yeah, and half the time when I'm reading these, I stumble along and they come out wrong anyhow. So I need all the help I can get.
Okay, so you want me to try to tell a joke without a piece of paper?
Yeah, but get
Yeah,
up
go
to the
ahead.
mic. Get up to the mic.
Okay, so a priest and a nun are going through a desert on a camel, and it's really, really hot. So they start taking off their habit or the priest's clothes and whatever, and suddenly that camel just loses it and dies, and they're struggling through the rest. They're struggling through the desert, and the priest takes off his pants, and so the nun says, "What is that, Father?" And she says, "That's my staff of life." And the nun says, "Well, stick it in that camel so we can get the hell out of here." I don't know if that came out
Don't
right.
mind if I do.
That's good.
Nice
I like it, man. All right,
Nice
that's cool.
Lebanese joke, yeah.
I love this joke.
All right, so should I retell a joke from a couple weeks ago?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Sexually active woman tells her plastic surgeon that she wanted her vaginal lips reduced in size. They were too loose and floppy. Out of embarrassment, she insisted that the surgery be kept a secret, and the surgeon agreed. Awaking from anesthesia after the surgery, she found 3 roses carefully placed beside her in her bed. Outraged, she immediately called for the doctor. I thought I asked you not to tell anybody about my operation. The surgeon told her that he had carried out her wish for confidentiality, and the first rose was from him. He had felt bad because she went through the surgery all by herself. The second rose was from my nurse. She assisted me in the surgery and empathized because she had had the same surgery procedure done many years ago. And what about the third rose, she said. Well, that's from the man upstairs in the burn unit. He wanted to thank you for his new ears.
I love that, man. That's pretty good. I dig that one.
All right.
I dig that one.
I'm here all week.
I think it's pretty safe to say you've been redeemed.
There's a joke about like the blind proctologist or whatever, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm going to check you out, and I'm going to check you out," and the guy's like, "Okay." So he's back there, and he's like, "Oh, you're very gentle and everything." He's like, "Yeah, I'm doing it. No hands, too."
No hands. Why can't you hear a pterodactyl in the bathroom?
I don't know.
Because the P is silent. That's it, man. You got anything else?
No, but like once a month, the dude's ears start bleeding.
Oh, hey.
Rebound joke.
There's a lot of echoes now.
Yeah. Great.
What was that? That's the over the. Oh. There was a song. Over the hill came Pistol Pete. Swing his meat.
Yeah.
He said with a grin as he wiped off his chin, "If my ear was a cunt, I'd fuck it."
Right. It's the limericks. It's 1,000 lyrics. What's gray and doesn't matter?
I don't know.
An irrelevant.
I like that.
I like that one. Yeah, I knew you'd like that one.
Yeah.
All right, so we're thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening.
Wow, an hour and 16 minutes. But we are at Porco.
We're at Porco. We've got important drinking to do, folks.
I know.
That's exactly right. We're going to keep
This is valuable real estate.
This is
here.
valuable real estate for the establishment. We really appreciate it. I don't think we need to go in to do another marathon podcast. That's exactly right. I will say that Sam, the other guy that won the what do they call that? The Twisted Taint Challenge, the Misfits.
yeah. I apologize because I was hammered when I was bitching about it.
The fractured perineum challenge. Right. The busted balls challenge. Whatever. The dead dick. Whatever it was.
Can I make a public apology?
But hold on. You can eventually. You
About
can.
the sleepy coccyx.
But anyway, Sam, who was the co-winner, because our guy won, right? So Sam, they shared the victory because they looked around at each other and went,
like, fuck it.
the
Okay,
only
let's
person
go.
watching us is sleeping right now.
Right.
Let's end this madness.
Yeah.
We could end it together now and split the winnings, or we could end it together in 4 hours and split the winnings. Let's just end it together now.
Yeah.
So Sam, who was the co-winner, also just became a Patreon of our podcast.
Awesome.
And we didn't make him sit on a motorcycle.
Thanks, Sam.
Yeah, you can join our podcast without sitting on a motorcycle for 18 hours or whatever it is.
So he gets a hat.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly it. Right. Yeah. He's $500 up right now.
There you go.
He's rolling.
He's taking the Misfits for $500. He's way ahead of anybody else. So good job.
Yeah.
So that's pretty rad. I dig that.
So one of the beer companies started putting their beers into 12 packs instead of just 6.
Okay.
So that podcast that I was maybe a little rude to everybody on the West Coast.
Yeah.
I bought that 12 pack to have for the weekend, but it didn't make it through the podcast. I sucked it down to about.
Anybody who's ever used cocaine in their life will know that you always do that on Thursday. You're like, I'm just going to buy an 8-ball and make it through the whole weekend.
It never works.
Yeah. And that's the.
Wait, you're saying Truth didn't come in 12 packs?
I didn't know about it. First time I ever.
It comes in 24 packs.
Oh fuck! I don't want to know about that.
I was buying. That's what I was buying during COVID and putting 7 cases of beer.
Steve speaks the truth.
15 packs. 7 cases on my passport.
Damn.
Again, I've never paid for one because Dan Hostick was so generous, and he shows up and he's like, "Here, guys, I brought you beer," and I was like, "Oh my god!" I'm not an IPA drinker, so
It sounds like Truth is named that because it's truth serum.
Yeah, right. It might be. I mean,
Tell us how you really feel.
Oh, I will. Or I did. I might again.
you might, and that would be totally on target.
Yeah.
That would be.
Hey, give us about an hour and let's turn this sucker back on.
We'll fire it back up after an hour. Oh my god, a hot damn mess. Yeah. So again, that's it. So if you guys are ever in Cleveland, come to Porco Lounge and Tiki Room. Got to do that. It's a lot of fun. If you're in Milwaukee, apparently we got to go to Foundation and spend the night. I think that's a road trip.
Airbnb, get it.
That's a road trip that has to happen.
And besides a few people forgetting where the mics are,
yeah.
since this thing is actually working and not sucking,
right.
this kind of opens us up to like doing more remote fucking stuff.
Yeah,
I'm kind of digging this, man.
And I am always looking at like my perfect. This is boring to shit for anybody, but my dream remote setup would be 8 lavaliers.
Oh yeah.
So like 8 lavaliers, one recorder, like one 8-channel recorder, and just be like, okay, there you go. And if you could have a headphone you could plug into your lavalier, that'd even be better.
Yeah.
Right? So we could manage, work on the quality control.
There's a whole lot, whatever. We'll get into it.
Yeah, we can get into that. But
I discovered a little gem this week at 301 and 20 is Joe's Bar. And you wouldn't even know it's open.
Right.
Okay. I called up. I was looking for a new place to get something for lunch.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm going to try this stupid place.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. It is the diviest of dives.
So wait, all right.
It is the dive bar that time forgot.
So wait, where...
Joe, who started the bar in probably 1920s, is still the cook. Like,
is it before Dirty Twist or after it?
No. So... 301 and 20.
Right, 301.
So where's 301? Oh, 301. Oh, yeah.
It's where you live.
You're where you live.
That's it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know why.
That's the place you actually
That's a truth serum right there.
It's called something else, though. People call it a different nut.
On one of our rides, we have to stop in there and get a drink.
I'm in.
Sounds real good.
Just to smell the old grease.
Well, and also next year when we all get snow machines,
right?
Because you guys already have them,
right.
So I found out, like, the cops don't give a fuck. You can drive wherever you want on the sides of things as long as
tried it already.
Yeah, because I talked to a bunch of guys, and then Phil ended up telling me that
Phil number 2.
Yeah, Phil number 2, Phil 2,
Phil Guy.
Phil Guy.
Yeah.
So he said that as long as if somebody has their driveway blocked with yellow tape, you can't go there.
Okay.
But if it's not, farmers don't mind the fields. Farmers don't care about anything. So you literally could go for 100 miles anywhere.
Wow.
So a party bus just rolled in.
Yeah, seriously. This is the example. Like, if you've ever worked in a bar in your life, what just happened, the people that just rolled in, they are everybody's worst nightmare who works in a bar.
I know.
It is exactly it. It is what we like to call a gaggle. A gaggle
and
of
all
Britneys.
And all,
it is it's
they all
a whole
have things
flock.
pushed up. They're all.
It's a whole flock of Britneys, and that's the whole thing is it's also like, oh yeah, we didn't know we needed reservations, but we'll just sit right there in the back of the room there with those guys with the microphones. It's fine. They know we're coming. It's okay. It's great.
We cool.
You can sit right here.
But it is. We did try to want to get in because it's only 8:30 p.m.
Yeah, right. No, we did good.
Shit,
but it is early. But just the same, this is Porco.
Yeah, it's getting packed.
It is getting packed. So we're gonna go ahead and give them their. We're gonna give them their lounge back. We'll get our shit out of here and let them make some money back here.
We have to end this with a really loud thing so everybody looks over. What
It's exactly it. So I don't think anybody's got anything else, right?
Nope.
I think we're good. I would call it a podcast at this point.
Yeah.
I think we've satisfied our duties to our podcast listeners.
said duty.
Right, our duty. That's exactly it.
Our fiscal responsibilities.
On that, gentlemen, ride fast and take chances.
Ba, 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 ba.